I'm here by testifying whatever happened to me in my lifetime from the year 2004 to 2007. I'm the girl aged 17 years old. I would advise everybody who is listening to this testimony, please pray hard before listening to it. Sometimes the devil might be near closer to you and you won't get anything. I started in 2004 when I was young at school called Burning Bush. I was stubborn in complexion, but that time I was short and thin. I lived with my grandmother and father, the elder brother to my grandmother. This life story started as a game. The devil took me unknowingly. He took me through the school where I was learning to, but I never knew that the school was sponsored by the queen called Bella. This became a thing that bothered my heart. I started this satanism through food with my friends, through school teachers and the headmaster. The school I studied with was sponsored by the devil himself under the sea. A time later, I started in grade 1, and they never told us anything. That side, my life started to be hard, and the devil drove me out from Chipata to Lusaka. From Lusaka there, I stayed with my grandfather. After that, he died, but I didn't know what killed him. I started asking about my father, but nobody told me what happened to him. Some years later, I was brought to stay with my mother. My mother she's a very poor woman staying in a poor house. You have no reason to condemn her. It was all the fault of the devil. She took me with her and I started learning in Mazabuka to a school called Queen's International School. This school was sponsored by the real Queen Bella also. I started schooling there. It came a time I was supposed to be introduced to the devil. They took us to Livingstone for a camp. While we were moving there came a strange wave in the vehicle. It was almost an accident, but I'll cut it short because I'll eat a lot of your time. When we reached that side, we saw the devil. We entered through Victoria Falls. From Victoria Falls, we entered to Indian Ocean. That's where we met their master, who is the devil. The devil is an identified person. Sometimes he changed into an angel. He started questioning me questions. He wanted to know how many we were in my family, but I explained to say we were just 2 with my sister. There he started interviewing me some questions, and some questions I had no answer. They introduced me to be there. Some days later, I was called as a princess, and I was supposed to marry the prince. There now, I was not supposed to marry the prince without a sacrifice. They demanded a sacrifice, and by that time, I had no any spirit in my body. And I complained to say I cannot kill somebody without spirits. They gave me some 122 tools in my body. And those tools worked a very dangerous work that I cannot mention. But I'll say some of them. For the sake of those people who are suffering from them, it can be either your children are suffering from it. The first spirit, I was stubborn. I was like a lion. I used to fight. I never used to care. A man or a woman I used to beat. The second spirit was a spirit of prostitution. I used to feel like wherever I am, I can have thousands and thousands of men. The devil changed me into a very beautiful girl. I was admired by every man passing, including women. There they saw that I was somebody who was intelligent. They taught me how to speak English because I was somebody who never knew to speak English. They took me to Atlantic Ocean. There I met my fellow youths. There where church elders, church deacons, and pastors were found. Ministers and presidents of this world were seated there. I looked at them and I was confused. They shared me, they gave me a ready apple. That apple, it was a form of blood. Because I was stubborn to drink that blood, they gave me an apple. After I ate that apple, I realized that I was drinking blood. And it was very difficult for me to stop. They gave me an injection with 2 buttons, and those buttons were dangerous. They used to send me causing accidents. I caused so many accidents that some of you might feel heard of it. I'm sorry to say this because it's an apology to everybody. I worked with the devil from 204 up to 206 when I gave up. The devil used me in any way he wanted. I was somebody who used to sing in the church of God. All the voices, I used to take them. Soprano, alto, any voice you can think. I was a preacher. I used to preach to the world and people used to understand me. And those demons I was given, they worked and used me. I caused anything I wanted and they promised me to get rich in life. For they thought I was a child. I couldn't get rich as young as I was. People would have known what was going on in my life. I was abandoned by my own family because my life became like a stranger. I was like a wild animal, a girl who never cared about anything. Careful to your children who does not care. If your child is as stubborn as I said, please be fast with taking that child to church. After that, I started moving on the between queens. The first queen who loved me so much was Queen Bella. Queen Pon used to decorate my hair. Queen Shelleen used to tell me everything. There are people whom I spoke to just under the sea there. Some people must be asking questions. How did I manage to talk their languages? The devil is somebody who speaks every language you can speak. The devil is somebody who changes into anything he wants. Let me warn you with this. They took me direct to the master and I knelt down. They asked me to please him as the Lord. We sang songs to praise the devil. And one day, the same day, I was confused to say, "Are you my creator?" And the devil said, "Yes, I am, young lady." I said, "Can you do one miracle that I'll believe that you're my creator?" He changed into the most bright angel. He was shining like the sun which shines around 12 hours in October. He asked me the day I was born. Meanwhile, he knows my birthday. I told him everything, and he said, "Wow, you are welcome to our kingdom." They gave me missionaries and missionaries. They told me to sacrifice my friends, and I did it. But one day it was difficult with my heart. They asked the person I loved most. That was my sister. And I failed to do it because everything, my heart and my everything was laid into her. And they said, since you have a spirit of fear and a spirit of love, we are going to have a daddy baby. Then they took me into a bush. I can call it a forest. There they gave me a beautiful baby. While the baby was crying, they gave me the baby that I should blind the baby. I tried to kill that baby, but my spirit was strong and said, say no. They killed that baby with a knife, and they gave me that baby to my back. I felt like I've now become the real demon, and I was. I became somebody. I was not afraid of anything, and they gave me a cross on my chest. That cross used to protect me from every prayer which used to come towards me. I used to face pastors and deacons, people who boast to say they pray hard, but I used to face them and bring them down to my feet. When I stand in the church, I was loved by everybody, but it's a sad story that I'm hated by everybody. I was somebody, when I want to do steps to Christ, each step I take through the church was a memory verse. Nobody knew that I was ruled by 192 demons. I was somebody stubborn more than a lion. If I might say in the sea, it's like a place like here, wherever you are. It's like a paradise on itself. We used to play with animals. When you enter there, we used to change our legs into a fish.